State leaders want every school in Texas to abandon their plans to celebrate Cesar Chavez later this month. The Texas Education Agency is ordering school leaders to redirect or outright cancel any plans they had focusing on the disgraced labor rights leader. Chavez's name is getting struck from events and recognition across the country after last week it was revealed that years of investigations revealed multiple accusations of sexual assault against him. State law currently recognizes March 31st as Cesar Chavez Day, but Governor Abbott ordered agencies across Texas to change their programming away from it. The TEA is also working to revise its curriculum for its TEACS test, which includes passages on Chavez's work advocating for farm workers. It plans to remove that focus as soon as possible. In the meantime, it's urging teachers to eliminate or modify their lesson plans focused on Chavez, considering it a, quote, widely debated and currently controversial issue of public policy or social affairs.